I, Ida Betty Odinga. I, Ida Betty Odinga, do swear that the information I shall give before this departmental committee on
just to confirm to you that this process is constitutional, conforms with our constitution and the standing order, parliamentary standing order. Article 124A of the constitution provides that when a house of parliament considers any appointment for which its approval is required under the constitution or an act of parliament, the appointment shall be considered by a committee of the relevant house. The Parliamentary Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations is established under National Assembly Standing Order 216, which mandates departmental committees, among others, to vet and report on all appointments where the Constitution ordinarily requires the National Assembly to approve. Further, the second schedule of the Standing Order allocates a committee to oversight, among others, foreign relations, diplomatic and consular services, and international relations. Naturally, the purpose of this approval hearing, therefore, is to ascertain your suitability to discharge the responsibilities of the office of the ambassador.
and members of this distinguished committee. I feel honored to appear before you this morning, and I thank you for taking time to consider my nomination for the invitation to participate in this important vetting process for the Kenya Permanent Representative of the United Nations Environmental Program. First and foremost, I'm grateful to Almighty God, the God that has given me opportunity. He has been my source and guide throughout my life. Of goodwill, plus all the advice I've received from my friends, colleagues, and Kenyans since my nomination. I want to thank my family, particularly my children, one of who is here today, whose name is here. to share my upbringing and background. Rebuild, and live fully a meaningful life and serve others. I grew up in Game in Siaya County and in Migori, and I attended Ogande Girls High School in Homa Bay County. Later, I joined the Highland School in Eldoret for my A-levels before proceeding to the University of Nairobi for my Bachelor of Arts degree with education as option, specializing in geography, which exposed me to the environmental issues. After university, I taught geography and general paper at Highway Secondary School for 2 years, and later at Kenya High School for 13 years. I also served as education officer with the Ministry of Education in Jogo House. However, even as I focus on my career, I realized that being the partner of then a political activist and someone who would later be recognized as the father of democracy in Kenya, it came with very heavy price to pay. This including sacrificing my teaching career and having to raise my family single-handedly as a young mother for a long period of time, particularly in a hostile political environment. Much about it is in the public domain, so I don't want to dwell much about it. Honorable Chair and members, for most of my life, I have often found myself in peculiar spaces that needed bold voice, a voice to speak for those unable to speak for themselves, a voice of reason and reconciliation during critical make or break moments in our nation and in our continent. And just like the biblical example of Queen Esther, who did not stay silent, but spoke out when it mattered and saved the whole nation. My life and work have been deeply affected by issues that inflict vulnerable populations across the great continent. I have done my best to speak out for them, all the platforms that have presented themselves to me. Allow me, Mr. Chairman, to mention a few of them. I have dedicated my life to advocating for empowerment of women in leadership and in governance. I founded the League of Kenya Women Voters to advocate for women's rights and expand participation in governance, and together with other reform-minded groups, we contributed to the push for affirmative action, which culminated in the creation of 47 women representative seats under the 2010 Constitution. Today, I'm humbled to serve as patron of the G7 Women Governors Advisory Council, working to retain and increase the number of elected women governors. Globally, I have participated in Commission of Status of Women since the historic Beijing conference in 1995, a forum review and evaluate the implementation and advancement of Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action. I have equally been passionate about girls' education because I firmly believe it is the most powerful investment we can make in our future, and through that, through Odinga Trust, we champion initiatives such as Linda Kesho. This is a program which addresses the issues of teenage pregnancies and early marriages, and also in support of integrating the young